When the phone rings and I'm talking to somebody at that level, it's pretty special. The Audi brand name, when I heard that, I was like, oh, this is sweet. And they explained, you know, it's gonna go in this glass box, and we're thinking, okay, what are these guys up to, and do they understand what we do? And as soon as we saw the mobile showroom, I knew we wanted to be a part of it.
A trip's what I need. Simmering, set, as cool as can be. Heaven isn't coming on. Heaven is coming gone. Love is not coming through. I need a fix to put me to sleep. A permanent kick. What's kicking me? Buzz isn't coming on. Buzz is coming gone. Love's not coming.
What are you working on with it?
Making the trees for the track, which basically consist of Japanese sedum flowers that we wait till they dry out. It's all about, you know, looking at it and, you know, does it look like a tree? You know, I think it does. And even though this part of it is really shallow, when it comes time to put it on the track, he'll be out like this. So, you know, it brings together that he's fighting for sunlight, he's fighting for sunlight,
Right.
and they can, you know, join together. Me making trees came out of a necessity to build the tracks to make them real, to create the value, which, you know, got us to where we are today, where, you know, 5 years ago, someone told me, oh yeah, Dave, you're gonna be making trees. When I was sitting in my 20 by 20 corner office with 20 people under me, I would have said, what are you talking about? Well, when I first, you know, lost my job, I thought, I want to do something cool where I don't have the stress of someone on top of me. And at home at night, you know, after looking through the want ads and hiring headhunters, I just wasn't getting anywhere. And I thought, I'd really like to just be my own person. And I had this vision of painting coconuts on the beach, so I wouldn't have the stress of people coming to me, and I could just paint a happy face on a coconut, and here you go. So I always refer to, you know, painting the coconuts as, you know, hiding out from society kind of thing, but still getting enough money to take care of my family and having some fun. I cut out some pieces and I routed them in my basement and I painted them, and I went and talked to a hobby shop owner and said, hey, you know, I got this idea, you know, can I set up in your store? And he said, yeah, that's cool. You know, he didn't really believe in it either. You know, he told me that afterwards. He just said he felt sorry for me. You know, I can say, oh, we build slot car tracks. Oh, you do? People instantly think that they're plastic snapped together, you know, foam and plastic, just store-bought stuff. So when people walk through the door, it's, oh my God, I didn't think it was that big. Oh geez, I didn't realize that, you know, you did wood. Oh, that's painted? When you see a track with none of the scenery and it's just painted and on there, it's a work of art in itself, because it's wood. And we bend the wood and we mold the wood and we get the right bankings. They're interactive works of art that not only are pleasing to sit and look at when they're operating, but when they're not, you can just kind of look at the detail and, you know, just, there's always something to look at.
We do sanding, painting, carving, virtually everything the way it used to be done in the old days, the old-fashioned analog way.
I was in the automotive business, actually. There's a lot of precision in automotive, but I like that here. So it's kind of precise and it's kind of artistic, and it was a good fit.
It is model making, but it is craftsmanship. It's, as I said, from years of experience, knowing how to do it and what you can get away with and what you can't.
We don't actually have any hobbies. We just do things that people think are hobbies.
I knew my weaknesses, so I surrounded myself with people who can help bring what I had in my head to reality. And knowing that, okay, there's people that can do this for me, and we can all get to the same place at the end, which is, you know, a really kick-ass track.
I love like puzzles, so something that needs to be completed, and something that I have absolutely no idea how to do. So I basically drown myself in information about everything that has to do with the project.
If you're a geek inside, you're a geek inside, and it's fun to talk tech.
The video feed gets fed into the router, 15 to 24 step custom batteries that have H bars. The router sends the signal to a pulse width modulator, so it just...
Talking to him the night before he was flying in, he says, okay, well, there's a couple more changes. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't even think I'm going to get to bed tonight. You know, he's running 150 miles an hour like we all do. We talk a little fast. You know, we all have that anticipation, especially from the technology background of what could go wrong or what could possibly happen here.
Incorporating an iPad to control the speed of the car is what they wanted. Something that was usually like a wire and just a trigger. To do that was a great challenge, and something that really made me rise to the occasion.
To meet someone like Ali and everyone coming together to make something happen that I really didn't think was going to work. You know, these guys, you're going to do iPad. Okay, it's going to be a challenge. But then when we got in here, we start to work through it. And, you know, Ali is still making changes on the fly. And he's, you know, we still are figuring out the cars because we're working outside the box. You know, there is no box here now. It's just, you know, what do we need to do to get it done? When they asked about the Looney and the ice, well, we referenced, they use that as a reference. What can be the special thing? I come back to the Quattro, and I said, all right, this is what we're going to do. I went into my box, I grabbed an Audi Quattro. I said, we're going to put this Quattro in the barn, because to me, it represents my introduction into Audi and most of the people in North America, because Audi came over with the Quattro, and they entered into the Pikes Peak race. And it's a race up the mountain. It take up to 22 minutes. And then in 1987, Walter Rall came and just decimated the world record there by 22 seconds, which was kind of unheard of. And that there really brought Audi into the focus, you know, North America, about this brand, because now they could, you know, tote that, hey man, we're Audi, we're kicking ass. So that's how we came with the Looney. So I thought, okay, we'll put it in the barn. We'll have the windows small, and we'll just kind of subdue light it. So when people will kind of look, they'll say, well, you know, what is that in there? And maybe nobody will know, but I know it's there. When I talk about Audi, I see the Quattro launching over a dirt road down in South America somewhere. It's just awesome scenery. It's really more of an emotional thing. Like, there's right times for me to carve, and there's not. But when I'm ready to carve, you know, get the fuck out of my way. I got to do this, and I don't care what else is going on. You're telling me what you want, and that's fine, but I'm going to give you what I see in my head. And when it's done, you're going to like it, and you have to trust me on that.
the client is expecting a windshield, but we've basically convinced them that putting a hole in it we need to do that, so they're kind of sold on that. Initially they wanted a windshield. It's their car. They don't really want on us messing with it too much. So if we cut the hole bigger, or even
one of the biggest challenges of this project was actually the space constraints inside the vehicle. So that's something that we've been working with to try to get around and sort of bypass and get around it. And these cameras are super sensitive, so I've already broken about 3 of these guys.
How's David feel about that?
Well, I've replaced them without telling him, so.
The kids who are racing, they're glued to it. They're not thinking about Xbox and all this modern day stuff because it's right there. They can touch things, they can destroy things, but they're racing and they're tuned out, but they're tuned in at the same time, kind of thing. That's all gone. And I've heard thousands of stories of sons and dads going to the corner place and racing. And that's cool because then they remember and they open up. And in a roundabout way, yes, I'm preserving that and, bringing it back and saying, hey, look, this still exists. This is still fun. Let's race.
Some of these pieces are going to be around forever, and it may sound strange, but there's an intimate relationship with what you're doing in this track, and a lot of them are never seen again to the public.
We'll race 4, 5, 6 hours with just smiles on our face, and that's the fun part of it. And that's when people walk away and say, hey, that was a really good time. It's more mystical. It's more emotional than just, tools and hammers and stuff like that. It's more the passion kind of thing that comes out of me, and that's what drives me, and that's where it all comes from. It's hard to explain. I can't explain this. I go back home and try to tell people, they won't understand it. Even when they look at a picture, they won't pick up the energy of what's going on. I brought my wife and daughter up here to experience this with me because when I give birth and I put these on exhibitions, I'm always calling home and trying to fill them with the excitement and what I'm feeling. But to me, it's rewarding that I know when she's older, she'll be able to reflect on this and say, look what my dad did. And there'll be a lot of pride. And even for myself, when we share this story 10 years from now, hey, Madeline, do you remember when? And all the people. Those are the moments where she'll be able to look back and say, hey, this is, what my dad was all about. He was a really cool dude, but he could be a real prick. But, and he wasn't always happy. And I saw him cry, and he shared these things in front of me. But he took me to great places and experience and to meet people that she would never meet. And as she pursues her dreams, she can see what I did and say, wow, okay, I can do this. And, AUDI has solidified that for me.